Hey, real quick, I just wanted to, before I start this gratitude one, I wanted to show some gratitude to everyone that's been following the podcast. This is, I believe, our third podcast, and I want to thank you all for tuning in. It's, it's just a vision that I had that to be able to take and what I share and share it globally. We're being viewed all over Europe, France, Germany area, obviously United States, various cities in the United States, Brazil and Africa. We're in a total of 11 cities. And I just want to thank you for that. I know this is reaching the right people and you're sharing information because you're starting to follow this documentation or documentary. And we have a lot more to come. And I'm just happy to share this with you. So we're going to move on to oh yeah, one more thing I wanted to say, share some of the successes that you're having with me. Connect with me on Facebook. You can get the link off of the Good Thought Energy website. Just kind of give me your thoughts. I'd like to hear your journey as well and see how, is there anything I can do to help you along your journey, because this information works. Thanks again. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited. My name's Gary Thompson, and this chapter here, part of my journey with gratitude, I'm so excited to share this part because I almost missed this. During the Science of Getting Rich seminar, when they got to the gratitude part, and I know I mentioned this previously, but I almost missed this part because I just said, well, I give thanks and everything like that every day, and I'm a pretty thankful person and so forth. But I almost missed this one because, and this ended up being probably the turning point for me regarding gratitude. Because remember, I had mentioned earlier in my talk that I was kind of wondering why I kept getting some of the same results, or I wasn't getting where I wanted to go, and I can truly say this part was missing, the gratitude piece. And, you see, a lot of people talking about gratitude and things like that. And, it's kind of like a buzzword, but that's why I almost missed it. But as I mentioned, I was going to take my ego out of the way and really focus on the program. So going through the whole gratitude part, is really exciting because soon after doing that, I started seeing results start to show up. And people kind of asked, how did you know that this was all working for you? Well, it doesn't come all at one time. If it did, we couldn't handle that anyway. But there were gradual changes because of you have to do some input. You got to put some things in to get things out, and everything has an incubation period. So, so the gratitude was like, it just opened my eyes to a whole new way of thinking, appreciation for people around me and things like that. And I'm going to hit to my notes on this. As I mentioned previously, I talked about, the paradigm, and that's a whole nother section that I'll be hitting on. But when we're talking about paradigm, gratitude was part of the information, the gratitude journal. That's when I was like, oh boy, I don't feel like writing stuff down and all that. But again, I had to realize, if I want to change some things, I got to follow someone that's leading the way. So, one of the things that they talked about was when you have your gratitude journal, really get a nice one, because it's a connection of, your visualization and, just the value that you're putting on it. Now, naturally, I started with a notebook. That's all I had. So, but I eventually got a journal, but I didn't use that to stop me. I needed to follow the exercises. So, one of the things that they talk about in gratitude as well, as far as, making your list, making a list of 3 people or 3 things that are bothering you. And, I'll come back to that because I have a funny story about that. How I started noticing changes through gratitude. So, I'm going to give you some time here in a little bit to kind of think about, some things and how to apply this exercise. But I wanted to share a few things that I wrote. This was the first gratitude exercise. They talked about, 10 things that you're grateful for. This is my list that I could share as I went on, because I was writing every day, it got a little more personal and things like that. But this one was just, this is write 10 things. So that's what I'm going to ask you guys to do. Let's make a list of 10 things, but we'll get to that point. But here's what I wrote. It says, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have great health. I was thankful for my job, my marriage, family, my creativity. Number 6 was my passion to help others. 7 was that my mom provided a God-based life for me. I'm so thankful for that. Number 8, for my company, where we're able to provide resources for people. Now, I didn't even have a company at this point. This is one of the things where they talk about visualizing what you want or speaking things into existence. I didn't even have my company up and running right now. You're actually part of it right now, my media company. The new 5-bedroom house with a large backyard, enough for entertaining and relaxing. Again, I'm in that home right now, but at the time of when I put this together, this was right around, I think, February timeframe. I was only a couple weeks in, so I wrote that about the house, and then I wanted to create an online success for people. So that was my first sketch at this. I started putting it together, and it continued to grow. So some of the great things that came through this exercise is when you write those 3 things, I wrote those 10 things down, and then you ask, then the next exercise was write 3 things or people that are bothering you. And this was a hard one for me because, I had some challenges at work, and I had, I'll just say, some situations at work, because you never know who's listening to this podcast, right? So I used to, put that in my 3 people or 3 things to send love to, and this was a hard one for me to do, but I did it. And it's not really to forgive. What it does, it releases you from the situation when you can give gratitude and look at things and give thanks. So I put good energy towards that situation. And one of the funny things that happened when I went to work, my situation wasn't with the people really that I worked with on my job. It was just some people that I work with on a regular basis. I'll just keep it that way. But they weren't at my office. So I had a pretty good relationship with people at my job. And I noticed a change in people around me. I noticed a change in people that I was dealing with. And I started thinking, I'm like, wow, these people must be studying too. They must be, doing some type of training or education program. And so I said, wow, they're changing. Well, the key thing was I was changing. I was putting out a different energy because these things that were bothering me, I sent love to it, or them. And what it ended up doing, part of this whole gratitude, it allowed me to release myself from that situation and just try to find the good. And it seemed like immediately all these people around me changed, but no, that wasn't the case. The only thing that changed was me. And so I was causing this situation because of my energy I was putting towards it. It wasn't, in a caring, loving, or positive environment. So I was getting the reflection of that. So it's kind of like, if you don't like what's coming back at you, maybe look at what you're putting out. And that's what I had to do. And immediately it changed everything in my environment. So as I continued to improve, then my whole work environment improved, because the type of people that were coming to work for our company, I attracted that, because we were down probably about 6 or 7 people, including a regional sales manager. and VP would come down, and there was a couple people still there, obviously, with myself. The energy that I was bringing to the situation was uplifting, positive, encouraging, because we had a small sales force. And my belief is that the VP saw this and said, I need to mirror this energy that's here. I need to bring in some people that will kind of mesh with what's going on here. And I was part of that creation process because of that energy I was putting out. But do you realize on my gratitude, one of my things that I pretty much write every day now is I'm living in a creative space for the rest of my life. I am so happy and grateful that I get to work with upbeat, creative, like-minded individuals that are financially able to work with to create MSIs. That's multiple streams of income. So I look at my job as another, one of my multiple streams of income that I do. And that was something I wrote every day, and I continue to write it. And so the people that were, now I had nothing to do with the hiring or anything, but putting that energy out, and that attracted these type of people. So everyone I work with now, they're upbeat, they're motivated, they're creative, they're excited to be there. And that's a joy for me to go to work. And it started by gratitude, putting that good thought energy out, and it attracted those type of people. And I love going to work now. I mean, again, the whole situation changed, and it was just being conscious about what I was doing. So that was so powerful. And then, so part of that, my daily thing, I get up, I do my journal, and then I send, now, as far as the 3 things that bother me, I don't have a whole lot of stuff bothering me anymore. So I said, now what do? I just send love to people, people I care about, my friends, my family. I just send love to them, say, hey, I like to just send some love to, this person, that they have a great day. It's interesting when I have these conversations, not that it was bad before, but it's just more appreciation when I talk to these people, because sometimes, your friends, family, you kind of take them for granted. But putting them in my gratitude or sending love, that helped. And then the third thing, which brings it all together, is ask God for guidance. This was another breakthrough, a part of this gratitude thing, because I was the type of person that, I had to make it happen. And I don't know if it was one part of my career. I'm in the tech field, so I'm always under the gun and pressure to make things happen. But I used to force things, anything I worked towards, and, grind, hustle, make it happen. I got results from that, but the journey was a challenge. Well, now, when I ask God for guidance every day, I just put my information down and allow God to bring those resources together, because when you're working with these laws, that's how these things happen in a way that it's kind of in a flow. You're not forcing things. And as I went through the paradigm shift seminar that I'll get to, later down the road, that was huge as far as, being in the flow of things. So, being able to take this exercise and really apply it, for me, it was a game changer, and I encourage you to, take some time and really spend some time on this part, because there's a part of us that doesn't want us to do this. Because when you give gratitude, that's where faith comes from, and that's where, all the energy to get things happening for you. So being able to visualize what you want, using that powerful, most powerful gift that we have is imagination, is the mental faculties out of which visions come from. Be able to, go into the future. That's what I was doing my journal. I was giving thanks for what I had, but I was also giving thanks for this house I didn't even have. I was giving thanks for a media company that hadn't even formed, and all these things, and speaking things into existence. And so, having order, and you exercise visualizing, it keeps your mind in order, and order attracts to you what you need to make life more enjoyable, because things are happening in an orderly way. So if you start training yourself to practice, deliberately picturing your desire and carefully examine your picture, you'll soon find that these thoughts and desires, they start coming to you in orderly fashion. I gave you an example on my job. The people I work with, they started showing up. And many people I come in contact with, they have resources to do some of the other things that I wanted to do, as far as my media and production company. And I didn't know these people. Having to reach a state of order, you are no longer in constant state of mental hurry, because mental hurry is an area of fear, and fear is destructive. So you don't want to always just be in a hurry all the time. You want to really put your thoughts down on paper and have a routine. And again, that's what really made the difference for me. I had a routine. And if you look at anyone who's successful, they have a daily method of operation that they do. In other words, when you're understanding and grasp the power to visualize your heart's desires and hold it with your will, it attracts to you all the things and the prerequisites to fulfill it. These are laws that will happen. And it's so exciting when you look at these things, you realize the sense of order, as they say, is, I've heard it said, order is heaven's first law. So when you have order in your life, you can consciously attract the things that you want in your life. And the exciting thing about this is a chapter in the book about gratitude. I'm going to read you some things because it's very powerful. And then I'm just going to read verbatim out of the book here. This is out of the book of Science Getting Rich. It says, first, you believe that there is an intelligent substance from which all things proceed. Second, you believe that this substance gives you everything you desire. And third, you relate yourself to it in a feeling of deep and profound gratitude. Many people who are in order with their lives rightly in all other ways are kept in poverty because of lack of gratitude. Let me read that again. Many people who order their lives rightly in all other ways are kept in poverty by lack of gratitude. Having received one gift from God that cuts the wires which connects them with Him by failing to make acknowledgement. That's why I make acknowledgement and give thanks every day, and I did before, but this is more focused, on giving thanks. I thank God about our home every day. I drive up, how this whole home came together. It totally was just an amazing part of gratitude. Now I'm going to read on here. It is easy to understand that nearer we live to the source of wealth, the more wealth we should receive. And it is easy to also understand that the soul that is also grateful lives closer touch with God, and the one which never looks to Him in thankful acknowledgement. The more grateful we fix our mind on the Supreme when good things come to us, the more good things we will receive, and the more rapidly they will come. And the reason simply is that mental attitude of gratitude draws the mind into closer touch with the source which the blessings come. This is when things started showing up in my life. And this was, like I said, a very short period of time. I think I was only maybe a week or so in on the study. It is a new thought to you that gratitude brings your whole mind into closer harmony with the creative energy of the universe. Consider it well, and it will see that it is true. Good things you already have come to you along the lines of obedience to certain laws. Two will lead your mind out along the ways by which things come, and it will keep you in closer harmony with creative thoughts and prevent you from falling into competitive thought. When you're in that creative state, that's where all the magic happens. I'm not in competition with anyone. I'm just creating every day. I'm excited to do that, and I give gratitude. Here's some more nuggets of this book. Gratitude alone can keep you looking towards the all and prevent you from falling into the error of thinking of supply as limited to do that would be fatal to your hopes. There are laws of gratitude, and it is absolutely necessary that you should observe the laws if you are to get the results you seek. The laws of gratitude is a natural principle. Action and reaction are always equal in its opposite direction. I'm going to read on. And if your gratitude is strong and consistent, key point there, consistent, the reaction in formless substance will be strong and continuous. The movement of things you want will be always towards you. Notice that grateful attitude that Jesus took, how he always seemed to be saying, I thank thee, Father, that thou hearest me. You cannot exercise much power without gratitude, or if it is gratitude that keeps you connected with the power. The moment you permit your mind to dwell with dissatisfaction upon things as they are, you begin to lose ground. You fix attention upon common, the ordinary, the poor, then you will transmit these things into form. To permit your mind to dwell upon the inferior, become inferior, to surrender yourself within inferior things. On the other hand, to fix your attention on the best, surrounding yourself with the best, and to become the best. Creative power within us makes us into an image which we will give our attention to. We are thinking substance, always taking the form of that which we think about. This again was breakthroughs for me. What I think about. Reaction of gratitude on one mind produces faith. Every outgoing wave of grateful thankfulness increases faith. This section of the book, gratitude, it's I can't say it more. That was the biggest difference for me. Giving gratitude and seeing it show up pretty quickly, and realizing I had a lot of control in what was happening based on my energy that I was putting out. So I wanted to focus on good thought energy, and that's what I do every day. I focus on good thought energy. And not to say that, your day is going to be perfect. You're still going to have challenges, but just how you get these things, I would say you may find yourself having fewer challenges, like myself. What's causing a lot of the challenges, because of energy that I was putting out. So the next chapter that we're going to talk about, but I'm going to break here and have you take some time here to write down your gratitude, and I'll come back and we'll conclude this part of gratitude. But I'm excited to share this because I keep saying it over and over, but because it was a game changer. So on tomorrow's or the next show, we're going to be talking about another thing, dealing with, doing things in a certain way that allow me to launch my company, that allow me to be able to put our family in a position to purchase a brand new home, about a year early, for that matter. It also allow the most money I ever had in my bank account, ever, that was not accounted for anything else. And so definitely stay tuned in the next episode. As we continue to go down through this road, it just gets better. It gets better each time. So I'm excited, as always, that you're able to tune in and, you find value with this, share with someone and let them know. Just watch it from the beginning. Don't be so much in a hurry to get through the information. That's a challenge today. Everybody wants to go fast, but if you really give this information to thought, it's coming from my heart, and I just know how these things are going to help. And I actually have on my next show tomorrow, I actually have a audio that I recorded. It's so powerful that I was listening to it and I said, who is that guy? And I was only a couple of weeks in. So this was a recording that I did. And I'll share some things with you. I don't know if it's going to be the next episode, but I have something that, from a visionary standpoint, that will just totally change how you look at vision boards and things like that. You're going to say, wow, how come I didn't think of that? It's so simple, but when you get in the flow, things come to you. So until the next episode, we'll talk to you on the next one, and appreciate you guys hanging out. All right. Talk to you later.